Al Kadosh, Erev Tov. What we're going to be doing is something very, very interesting. So pay attention. Story time. Story time. You know what story time is? Rabbi loves stories. So he came for the right night. Yeah. Oh, well, we had, how many did we have?
17.
Ah, very good. So we're going to have to start.
17 or 19?
Well, let's see now. Okay, look. We're going to start story number 1. Okay. So let's start. At least we'll start. Yeah, well, at least we'll start. Okay, fine. Now that we're talking about sfinot, remember that in this Gemara, in Masechet Batra, we're talking about boats. Yeah, you like boats, no? Nice boat. You like it. So what happens? While we're speaking about boats, we're going to talk a little bit about stories. So the first one is the Gemara on Ayin Gimel Amud Aleph. Gemara. The Gemara says, Amar Rabba. Rabba comes and he tells, right? He says, Ishtau li nachuta yama. They told me the ones which are going down to the sea. Hai gala de matbea, right? The mitaba sfina. When you have this gal that is coming to drown a boat. So imagine you have this huge wave that is going to take down the boat. Mitchaze kitzutzita denura chivarta bereisha. It's going to look as if there's going to be a spark of fire, of a white fire, at the head. I mean, now if you pay attention, we're going to see this later on again, because this was the story that one rabbi was sleeping, another rabbi went and he said, I saw the eyes, or maybe I saw something, and maybe it was this. So basically he comes and he saw that there was going to be a gal, right? One more time, we're talking about a big wave that was going to take out the boat, take down the entire boat, and it looked like, right, a tzitzit shel esh levana b'rosho. So you're going to tell me maybe it's nowadays the whales beside Gibraltar. Yeah, they're just taking down all the boats. Fine. Umachinan le be'alvata. We hit it with the alot. Right? What are those exactly? It's a shevet. It's a stick. Yeah, we hit it. So we used it. We used it like a stick. The chakuk aleh that was engraved in it, 3 names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yeah, what exactly is it? Eyeh asher eyeh. Yeah, so eyeh is, right, one of the names of Hashem. Right? Ka Hashem Tzevakot. Yeah? Yeah. We're doing the story now, but we're explaining. We're explaining the story. Okay? Amen. Sela. No, Daf Yomi. Yeah? No. Youth Kevav Ke, yes, but this is Eyeh. There's another one. But one second. Eyeh asher eyeh ka Hashem Tzevakot. Amen. Sela v'naich. And then all of a sudden, the gal calmed down. It subdued. It became calm. Yeah? I wish I had this type of stick. Imagine you have a guy that's always wild, right? What do? Boom. Oh, calm down. Yeah? It'll be incredible. Yeah, imagine. Yeah? Okay. You want to bring me a stick? Stick? Yeah, bring me a stick. Yeah, exactly.
We'll kill you with this.
Fine, let's start, okay? First story says as follows. Apia Gaon Mivinna. Listen to this Gaon. Sipur zeu mashal lechaye haolam azeh. This story is a mashal, a parable to this world. Masa nishmato shel adam. We're talking about where the neshama of the human being comes down. Me'olam ha'elyon, from the upper world, to olam hazeh. Dome le'aflaga b'sfina el me'ever layam. Meaning, just like when the neshama is coming down from upstairs to downstairs, that's the comparison that it's going out to the sea. Remember, in the sea, there's always the torments, there's always things, there's always different fish and sharks and whales and this and that. They always come, they want to eat you alive. Yeah, the karish. Yeah. So what happens? So he says, Yordei hayam, the ones that are going down to the sea, yordim lasfina, mafligim bayam, right? Look at the liturgia sham. You're going to come, you're going to ask the sailors. They don't want to live in there, right? Do you think that they want to live on the boat? They don't want to live on the boat. Yeah. Ela, he, right? He says, כאמצעי להגיע למקום שאפשר להם להשיג סחורה שיש בה רווח לשוב בביתם. Meaning like this, a person, the only reason why they would be in a boat is to get to a certain place in order to afterwards come to sell or to buy it to make money. Nobody's going to go on a boat and live on a boat for fun. Yeah, well, they're just going to live there the entire time. Yeah. So he says, כך היא גם ירידת הנשמה לעולם הזה. That is, right, also, right, where the neshama is going down in this world. What does that mean? שאין תכליתה אלא להשיג זכויות על ידי קיום מצוות ומעשים טובים. He says the entire purpose that we came down to this world is to get mitzvot ומעשים טובים. Yeah? כדי לזכות בהם לחיי עולם הבא. In order to get עולם הבא. וכשם שאין לעבור בים מבלי להיות בספינה. So now, should you go in the sea without being in a boat? Should you go in the boat? Or just swim in the sea? You should, of course you should go in the boat. Yeah? I don't remember who it was recently that they tried doing. I don't remember how many that they were swimming and they were bit by I don't know how many stingrays and these things and all these you understand? It's powerful. So too אין הנשמה יכולה לעבור בעולם הזה ולהשיג את תכליתה אלא בהיותה בגוף. The boat is the body of the human being. And therefore we need to go with the body. And therefore the neshama goes inside of the body. לכן and therefore נמשלים חיי הנשמה בגוף בעולם הזה. We have a mashal, right, of the neshama in the body in this world to the boat. וכל המאורות והצרות העוברים על האדם בחייו, and everything that happens to a human being, all the bad things, those are the galei hayam. Those are the waves which are trying to come and throw us over. Right? Just like it says, Kol mishparecha vegalecha alai avaru. Kol mishparecha vegalecha. All of the things that are going to break me, whether it's the galim, whether they're going to pass by me. Yeah? Rova galim ena melasar cholev. The majority, just a small torment that's going to pass by. Ulam yesh gal echad mesugal latbiya legamre. But there's going to be one that he's the most powerful, that he could take down the entire boat. What's the father one? The Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara, right, that he comes and he wants to destroy the body of the human being and his neshama. Just like Rabbi Shimon Melakish says, and that's what it says. Hayetzer Hara comes into the person like a fire. However, though, the fire is not a regular fire. It's an esh levana birosh hagal. It's like a esh levana, right, which is basically going to be an esh levana on, right, on the rosh hagal. Yeah, so he says, ulam. However, though, it's not. So he says, at the beginning he's coming, right, la'asit et adam, right? So he comes and he says, right, he comes la'asit et adam, right? But then afterwards he comes and he says, at the beginning he's coming and he's trying to trick us. But afterwards he says, well, it's mutar. There's no issue of doing that. Right? Imagine right now I'm going to come and I'm going to tell you, it's mutar. At the beginning, you know you're doing something wrong. But then after 5 minutes, well, there's no problem with doing that. What's the problem? So he says, he's going to paint it in white. Why? Amoreh ala shalom. White is always like peace. Yeah, it's always like peace. So therefore, what happens? Shoikilu is white. There's no problem with what I'm doing. Everything's white. So he says, dehainu, which means to say, shlemut, right? Which is completion, as the Sefer Shorashim says in the Shalom. Yeah, he comes and he says that the Tzeva Lavan Kol Sivi Keshet, the white has all the colors into it, and that's the pshat of purity. That's why purity is always white. So he comes and he shows us white. If it wasn't for the fact that we were in the exile amongst the nations, that we were actually subjugated to them, right? And we're going to be influenced by them, meaning we're influenced by all the nations around us. We can't say anything like that. So it would be much easier to conquer the Yetzer Hara. However, though, the way that we are now, the Yetzer Hara is so strong, we could hardly even get against it. And that's what Rabbi Alexander used to say at the end of the Tefillah, Ribbon Ha'olamim, Master of the universe, Galui v'yadua lefanecha. It's known to you, it's revealed in front of you. Sheretzonenu la'asot retzonecha.
You don't like good when you are young.
1 minute.
It didn't work on you.
Nah, it always works. The Yetzer Hara works all the day. Every day the Yetzer Hara. One day the Yetzer Hara tells you, don't go to shiur. The next day the Yetzer Hara tells you, I'm tired. The next day the Yetzer Hara comes and tells you, I'll watch it later on Zoom. The next day the Yetzer Hara comes and he tells you, the shiur is boring.
You're right.
Right? The fourth day, every day is Yetzer Hara. No matter how old.
Yeah.
Afterwards, he's going to tell you, you're too old, you can't get out of bed. Yetzer Hara is always there. Always there is Yetzer Hara. How many times did I speak to people? Oh, no, it's too early for me. And I'm thinking, how many hours does the guy sleep? The Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara, no matter what age he is, he's there.
Sure, yeah.
No matter what. So he says, Mi me'akev. Who's stopping? Who's stopping us? If we want to do the will of Hashem, so who stops us? So Shabbat Yisa. That's the Yetzer Hara. So therefore he comes and he says, Shtei haftachot tivtiach lanu HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu ascertains us that only this way we could come and we could save ourselves. How? Sheshchinato tiyeh imanu gam biyotenu bagalut. Put the Shechina inside of us. Put the Shechina inside of you. How do you put the Shechina inside of you? He comes and he says, "Vafilu b'tzarot hagdolot biyoter." So no matter what type of sufferings, Shechina. ואף גם זו ביותם ונאמר עוד, and it says, אם אנוכי בצרה. והשנייה...
If you're suffering, then you don't have the Shekhinah.
No. You could be suffering and you still have the Shekhinah. Right? You put the Shekhinah on you. Right? He says, והשנייה שהבטיח לגאול אותנו מהגלות, לכן יש אפשרות לאכוף ולהדוף את גל האש יצרה, ואפילו להכניעו. בעזרת האלה, right? He says over here, שעליה החקוקים שבותיו של הקדוש ברוך הוא, right, מבטאים את הבטחות הללו. These names were the names that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us, I'm going to redeem you. How did he tell us in Mitzrayim? Ehyeh asher ehyeh. In every suffering, I'm going to be there. And I'm going to take you out of the suffering. Why do we have to know this? Because since we already know HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take us out of the galut, we already know from the beginning that we say to ourselves, you know what, I'm not going to fall in the trap. We're going to take the big stick with the name of Hashem, and we already have a v'tacha HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a guarantee from HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take us out of exile, and just start whacking the Yetzer Hara. Whack him. Fight. That's what you have to do. Only if you do that way, then you'll be able to win. If you're not going to fight in such a way, there's nothing to do. Because you're always going to let the Yetzer Hara win. So, no, you have to hit him. Yeah? The Yetzer Hara, by the way, he's very, very, very good. Very good. So you have to get him strong. Okay? Hashem Arishon is Ehyeh asher ehyeh, which that's the Avtacha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will always be with us in our galuyot. That was the name. Ehyeh asher ehyeh. Yeah? Then he says over here, Avtachato shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the final redemption is going to be with the word Yah. Ki yad al kes Yah. Milchama al Adonai b'Amalek midor dor. Yeah? You know you're incorrect. Hello? You know you're incorrect.
לא? לא, יש פעמיים, גם
You're talking about פרשת זכור.
יש בזכור,
זכור.
אבל בכי תצא גם.
No. זכור זה בכי תצא.
נו.
זה לא כי תצא. זה the parasha that we read on Purim morning. Parasha B'Shalach. The maftir of B'Shalach. This is the maftir of B'Shalach. כי יד על כסייה, מדור, דור. זה מפטיר של פרשת בשלח. Right before יתרו. יותר מזכור. זה משהו אחר. מה? אוקיי?
ויש זכור את אשר עשה לך עמלק.
נכון, זה זכור. But this pasuk, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will redeem us with the name of Yud K, this is פרשת בשלח. Yeah? כדי להבין זאת יש להקדים 3 נקודות. Number one, you have to understand that the full name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Yud K Vav K. Right? And therefore what happens is that Amalek came, and because they went and they split the name, so it was split between Yud K and Vav K. So therefore we know that in order for the throne to be Shalem, you need the Yud K Vav K. And therefore that's why with these names, Ehyeh asher ehyeh, Ehyeh Tzivarot, those are the names which are going to come and take us out of the Galut, that gives us the strength to fight against the Yetzer Hara. Okay, the Shem Tzevakot is just showing Shilton Ba'olam, as long as we're subjugated, fine. Now he comes and he says, right, like this, right? When we come and we're going to answer Amen every single day, and Amen Yeshua Rabbah, so it opens up the Sha'arei Gan Eden. And that's why it says, Pitchu Sha'arim, right, V'yavogo Tzadik Shomer Emunim. Al Tikre Emunim, Ela Sheonim Amen. So that's the explanation that we come and we say that a person has to be very, very careful with answering it. So, Sikum, we're going to make a summary one more time. The Yam, the sea, is the world. The Sfina, the boat, is the body of the human being. Yordei Yam is a neshama. It comes down. Right? The Galim, what are all these waves? The sufferings that come onto human being. Right? The fire is the Yetzer Hara. And the reason why he's in a white fire is the Keilu to show us that all the Averot are pure. Yeah, you don't know how many times they come and they show you it's an Averah. It's clean. What's the problem? I'm doing a mitzvah. Yeah, I tell them what you're doing a mitzvah. You're doing an Averah. Right? You're doing a mitzvah.
Example.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
You want 1 or 10? I'll give you 10.
One example. That's
Yeah?
enough.
A person comes and he starts saying Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo when he's not allowed to. An Averah. He says Chazak Baruch. He's in the middle of Kriyat Torah. Averah. Between Baruch Shamar and Yishtabach, or Baruch Shamar, he's speaking. An Averah. He's saying, oh, Chazak Baruch. He's saying hi. He's saying, it's an Averah. Every single one is an Averah. And you're going to paint yourself. Listen, I told the Kohen, Chazak Baruch.
It's from a huge, from a little bit like this, a small one.
It's a small one. Do you know that for talking, right, from between Baruch Shamar and Yishtabach, right, you have to come back from the war. Because you're not from the war. Because you're not protected. So if right now I would give you a draft, Remy, right? Remember, you were in the Algerian army. If I'm going to send you to the Israeli army and you spoke between Baruch Shamar and Yishtabach, I tell you, Remy, come back home. You know why? There's no guarantee. No protection. I don't know. Those are powerful words. Powerful words. Right now, the truth is it's not written by Baruch Shamar and Yishtabach. It's written even after by Yishtabach. So imagine, or between Tefillin Shel Yad and Tefillin Shel Rosh. But imagine, you know what it is? We think that it's a small Avirah, but it's a huge Avirah. Hashem is right in front of you, and you're going to come and you're going to start talking, or you're going to come and you're going to start saying, I don't know what.
At the end, you say Amen, and then after you say an Amen. You can Amen, you don't pronounce it, right?
No, you're talking about Emet. Emet, not Amen. Emet.
Yeah, Amen.
Adonai Elohechem, Emet. Yes. Exactly. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Okay. 248. Yeah, fine. So now what happens is as follows. So that was all the first. Story. Okay, so again, it's a whitening the averot, right? Now he comes and he says as follows. Yeah, Hashem is coming and showing us that the Shekhinah is in the Galut. Yah is showing us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always fighting with Amalek. Yad Tzevakot is showing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take us out. And then he comes and he says the word Amen is the Zechut which is bringing the Shekhinah. Amen Selah is showing us that Bezat Hashem is going to bring us the Mashiach. And then he says that the Marsha and the Yarot Dvash of Yonatan Ebishitz also comes and he says also something very, very similar, right, to what we just mentioned. Okay? Fine. Okay. Very, very good. So that's going to be the first one. First story. Okay? One more?
Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
Continue, but as well.
Yeah.
Here.
Okay.
You have
One
19 stories. One more.
Oh, one
One
more.
more.
I didn't
Two every night, that's a big deal. 9 days.
One more story. What was the story?
Quick.
Amar Rabba. Rabba comes and he says,
Nothing to do home. Stay here.
yeah, he comes and he says this. Yeah, he comes and he says like this. They told me the ones that go down to Yordei Yam. Ben gala le gala tlap mea parse. Between one gal and another gal, between one, how do you call these galim, the wave and another wave, 300 parsaot. Veruma de gala tlat mea parse. And the height is also 300 parsaot. Right?
Measurement system,
Parsaot is measurements, yes. One parsa is a meal.
What?
Is 1 meal. Okay, one parsa is 1 meal. 1 meal is just a kilometer. Okay, just a kilometer. So he comes and he says like this. Yeah, he says, right? Zimna chada vazlinan beorcha. Once we were going on the path, v'dalinan gala, and the gal came adechazina bar mirabate de kokvezuta, until we saw the star, a small star. V'havya li, and it looked to me kimimzar bain grive birzad chaldala. It looked like, right, that we're planting 40 midot of mustard seeds. V'dalinan tfei. Now, if behemet it would have went up higher, have a maklina mevle, we would have been burnt, right, from the heat of the kochav, meaning basically brought up, right? So that means basically what happened is that imagine right now you're on a wave, and the wave picked them up so high that they were in the shamayim already. That's how high the wave picked them up. Okay, that's what happens. So what happens? So he says, "Virami legala kala lechaverta." So we heard one gal telling another one, "Chavertai shavak nide be'alma de la shataft." He says, "What? Did you leave anything in the world that you didn't flood?" So he went and he said, "Denaiti ana, because I want to flood it." So he went and he said, "Puk chazi gevurta de marach." Go see the strength of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Melo chuta chala vela avde, right? Vela avre. Look what it is, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Look how great are the waves. And look at the strength of Hakadosh Baruch Hu, that Hakadosh Baruch Hu comes and he does it in such a fashion, you have the sand on the shores and it doesn't pass it. Today, I
just said that today in the afternoon I was with my friend at the beach, and I said it's amazing that the sand is all the same, and the water never goes up. Even in rain and everything, the water never goes up the water. I just said in the afternoon.
That's why you came.
I can teach you.
Baruch Hashem. Yeah, he's going to give the class. Okay.
I did the class on the beach. I was there 2 hours ago.
Not Colombia, no? Here.
Here.
Okay.
Colombia, you don't go for the beach.
Okay. Fine. Yeah.
You go for the beach, yeah.
Pirusha Seni. Listen to this second story. Second story, he says, we already explained that Yoredei Hayam is Mashal ibn Adam ba'olam hazeh. They're going down in this world. Hagalim. What are the galim? The waves. Shluchei Satan. The Yetzer Hara and everything. So he comes and he says, Shekol echad mehem moshel chodesh echad. Each one is over 1 month. Meaning he's ministering angel over 1 month. So he comes and he says, that's what it says in the Sefer Yetzirah, every single month there's one of the 12 kochot nefesh, right? You know, how do you call all these things? All the different mazalot. I forgot what they're called. Yeah, all these types of mazalot, right? So he says 1 month, the zodiac, yes. Adam, right? He says mutalit gabel intiyotav. So you have to strengthen yourself against it.
The zodiac, the Gemara invented it.
One second.
Yeah.
So he says, kochot elu makbilim lekochot 12 shiftei ka. So each one of these, you know, like Leo, right? Leo. So that's it. Klape, who's the lion? Yehuda. So therefore, each tribe is in parallel, is in correlation to one of those of the codes of the zodiac signs, and each one of them. So you have the negative, let's say, forces, and then you have the shiftei ka in parallel. So he says, now we have to understand the inyan of 300 parsa. Galei hayam, which are the waves, malchim b'metziut yoter maher mbnei adam. Naturally, the waves go quicker than us. The waves, they travel much quicker than a human being. Now you can't fight against the waves. Yeah, it's impossible.
The wave.
Yeah.
When you're in the boat.
Well, not in a boat. When you're just swimming, right? Who's quicker? You or the waves? The waves. However, though, the waves are the shluchei of the Yetzer Hara. Each one is coming to come and to get a chet, whether it's going to be their gava, and therefore they're not coming. So it means they go at the speed that we go in order to do averot. So he says, how much does a person walk in a day? A person could walk in a day 10 parsaot. So think about it one more time. If it's going to be every single parsa is 4 mil, and every mil is a kilometer. So therefore, every parsa is 4, so 40 kilometers a day. a person could walk 40 kilometers a day.
עשו
It's-
שובר
it's-
שיא גינס.
It's about
מישהו
10 hours.
שבר את שיא גינס.
Yes.
At that
He
time,
run every day for 1 month, 40
By the way, now you're going to understand what exactly is going on with the shitot of when is dawn. Because the Gemara says that how much does a person walk in a day? 40 kilometers, which we just said was 10 parsaot. Now the question is, when is that? Is that from sunrise to sunset or not? So one shita wanted to say that maybe you could come and you're going to walk, right, the 4 mil in the morning, meaning from dawn till sunrise, and 4 mil in the nighttime from sunset to nightfall. So if you do 4 mil, 4 times 18 minutes, because it takes you around
So you
18
divide
minutes
20,
to walk the kilometer. Again, you're not running, right? You're walking, nice speed.
let's make 20 miles, 20 kilometers.
No, so here what he's trying to say is that if you do that, that's why you have 72 minutes. And that's why there's a shita that it's 72 minutes before sunrise is dawn. The other shita says you can walk 5 mil, and therefore it's 90 minutes, 90 minutes, an hour and a half before. So that's why you're getting to different, but again, this is the concept. So listen carefully.
I checked it, and you can walk. That he said that he's going from Spain to Eretz Israel, and he come back.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it all depends on the parcel, right? Okay. So listen carefully. He says it is. Pam achat hayinu melchim haderech means once we decided, right? Shayu ad az yordei hayam, then yordim ruchniutam. Lech b'derech hayashar. Imagine it's Elul. So you have people that they were going downwards, right? Imagine once upon a time they were in every single shiur, and all of a sudden now, no, I don't want to come to every shiur. It's more important for me now to take care of I don't know what. Yeah. So what happens? The Yetzer Hara came and he picked us up and he brought us to Gava, right? Which is going to throw us down. That's the reason why a person is going to fall. Then the Yetzer Hara is going to come and try to save it, right? By saying that no, we want to become good guys, right? Right? You're going to lose everything. So we saw that it was like a small star, meaning the Yetzer Hara brought us so high up that we were the tzaddikim. So we think that we're tzaddikim. And then he comes and he says, and even the smallest one looks like a big star. Yeah, we're big stars. So he says, the zir'e chardal, the mustard seeds, he says, you can't even eat them like the way they are. You have to crush them and to make them into a powder, right? And then you could start eating them. It's in order for us to come and to fix, right, the food. So he comes and he says, somebody that comes and he controls his Yetzer Hara and he subjugates his ta'avot, right, is ki'ilu katashat zirei chardal. It's coming, he's crushing, right, the mustard seeds. Right? So he says, Yordei Hayam, they went and they saw themselves that ki'ilu they were fitting for mustard seeds. What does that mean? Ki'ilu they're big tzaddikim, right? And he says, there's 40 mitot hen, 40 seah shel mea mikveh. Do you know that there's 40 measures, just like there's 40 measures of the waters of the mikveh? Meaning to purify us, we have the 40 midot, which is that's why we need the 40 seah in the mikveh to purify us. So he says the Torah is also like water, and only with the help of the Torah can we be mitgaber al Yetzer Hara. And that's why it says lifamim mishal shtel limot Torah, that he thinks that he's already pure and he doesn't have any Yetzer Hara. He says no. Just like the mikveh doesn't purify unless the entire body is full of water, so too the chardal is going to be still bitter until you make it into a powder. So too the person is going to still have the Yetzer Hara until he's going to be completely shakua in the Torah. Meaning he has to be completely submerged. He has to be completely in it, in the Torah. When he's completely in the Torah, then you don't have to worry about it. But until then, invested, exactly. So the Yetzer Hara, tokef et adam beotzma kaze, he comes and he hits the guy so hard. He says it's very difficult to believe that he could stand on his own. And therefore you ask until, one of them asked his friend, until where are you going to go? Right? He's going to ask his friend, until where? Right? He says, what? Did you leave something in this world? There's nothing. So he comes and he says, right? It's true. En koach ba'adam lasot zeh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the only one that can do it. And just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu put the sand to stop the water from overpowering, so too HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes, right? And he made sure, right? That's what he says, the kavanah is that he wanted to make sure that nobody's going to be able to pass by, which means that if we want, we're going to be able to learn Torah, nothing's going to stop us. So again, one more time, the sikum, the summary of this story. Sipur Zeh Melamdenu, this story is teaching us on the different dangers which are going to pass on the person when he's going on the Derech HaYashar. First of all, Tzakato Rishona, the first one is, right, is always going to bring him to Gava. He's haughty. So he says if he's going to fall into the trap of the Yetzer Hara, then he's going to go to Kas, right, which is a Midah Ra'ah, Lachti Etada. However, though, what we have to try to do is that we have to actually come, and it's only with the help of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we'll be able to come and overpower the Yetzer Hara. Have a wonderful day.